If you are anything like me and just think, hey, rafting down the Grand Canyon, it's pretty damn cool. You got a home here. Welcome to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, and world that we live in. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hope you had a great weekend. I had an absolutely epic weekend. I'm very excited to share this with you because it is every kind of awesome. And hope you got out and had some fun in the heat. Where I was, and I don't want anybody complaining. Where it was actually 100 and tickling 130 degrees. No lie, not kidding at all. 130 degrees. So it is it's a wonder we survived. I kid, it wasn't really that bad, but it was actually that hot. So we got together. My girlfriend and I got her kids, my kids, and did the whole blended fam bam thing on a trip to the Grand Canyon, and we got to raft the Grand Canyon. We had to raft down the Grand Canyon. I'm just blown away that we had the ability to do that. And I was just it's kind of a once in a lifetime vibe, kind of once in a lifetime thing. And I'm humbled by it. I'm excited to share the entire story with you. And I'm actually texting intern Beans right now, just so excuse me. And let's see here, I got to get that right because she's getting coffee. That's what interns are supposed to do. Anyway, we took out and we took off on Friday, and we had a wonderful trip. And it was just a quick little drive up there. We took two cars and we went up to this little motel in the middle of nowhere. I got to tell you, this was it was the spot to be. And when I say, for those that know Arizona, it's between Peach Springs and Seligman. So, and it's literally between the two of them. So it's on Route 66 and absolutely nothing. There's nothing around there. This place, the Caverns Inn, was a complete trip to me. It's like it's a spot time forgot. Like you think about the Pixar Disney show Cars, and they talk about, basically people just forgotten about Route 66. And this place was pretty much forgotten. And it was an old service station and motel, and the motel part's fine. The dinosaur miniature golf course left a little to be desired. There's like weeds coming out of the holes, and obviously it wasn't usable. It looked at it parts. It looked like this is where horror movies start, or where horror movies end, or just horror movies are just filmed. And I was going to reach out to my buddy from Clydesdale, Manhattan, and say, if you want to do any kind of video that is set in a just right out of central casting, stereotypical, your brother lives there, Lynn, not at the Caverns, it's Seligman probably, yeah, or Peach Springs. But if you need a spot, this is it. This motel is every kind of awesome, because we're like that. We're not bougie. We like to go just kind of go off the back roads kind of thing, and do something not a lot of people are doing. Because when a lot of people go rafting, they stay at the Wallapai Lodge, because that's where you get the bus and everything like that. So, but that's boring. Everybody's doing that. So if everybody's doing that, we're going to do something different, and we did. And so we had I think so far the trip of a lifetime when we got to raft the Grand Canyon. I just can't tell you how the anticipation for the kids, the anticipation for Becky and myself, it was just awesome. The trip up, everybody's in good spirits, everybody's in a good mood. We get to do this. It's fantastic. We had a great night. Next morning we get up, and we are greeted with a free breakfast at the Caverns, and a giant spread of bagels, toast, or English muffins with you know what, jams and jellies, any flavor you want. They had it. Kids got fed, got some food in their stomach, and boom, off we went to meet the bus. And whoa, and I mean whoa, I got to stop right here, because little did Becky and I know that our kids are plotting little punks. And I say that lovingly, because I do love them all dearly. They had a plan together to do a little something in each and every picture that we took on the trip. And they did not let us know. They wanted to see if we would catch on while we were looking through the pictures. through the day, through the trip, or whatever it was, to see if we would figure this out. Now, I'm going to show you a pic from the lodge, and I'm going to show you this pic right here. See, it's a beautiful fam right there. Look at the intern Beans and intern Nuge. Now, I am going to attempt to zoom in here. I don't know if I can zoom in. I can't zoom in. So anyway, but if you can see intern Nuge's left hand, there is a there was a a middle digit that is weakly extended there. Every picture the kids took, one of them or all of them or two of them or three of them of the four would extend a middle digit just on the sly, just sneaking in there. So me, and being a picture nut that I am, like I remember I sent the kids to Disneyland and I said, the only thing dad wants is pictures. Send me a bunch of pictures. So I was so excited for these pictures. Come to find out that they did this in each and every picture. At first, I kind of felt like, oh man. And then I look, I was very impressed as well. I thought, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. These kids got together and did this and planned this whole thing out and actually did that. Grizz, that's what you do? Yeah. Okay. So Grizz is in on that as well. They Oh my gosh, I was impressed. I was very, very impressed. So as you see all the kids' pictures, they have all kind of like one little do kind of this little thing, and that was their vibe, and I couldn't be more proud. I just couldn't be more proud. Good job, kids. You got us on that one, and I still think they're Chris says it pisses his wife off. It was I was hot for like 5 seconds. And then, like I said, I look over, I saw Meg's reaction. I'm like, you know what that is? That is pretty dang cool that they pulled that off. So anyway, so we catch the bus. And it's a bus. It's a cool bus. And we take it from the Wallapai Lodge down to the bottom of the canyon. Y'all, we went from 5,000 to 1,000 foot elevation. We dropped 4,000 feet in elevation driving to the bottom of the canyon in a bus on a dirt and rock road. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. This is, it was stunning. My son, intern Nuge, has never seen the Grand Canyon before. So this is his first time ever laying eyes on the Grand Canyon. And he is driving into it, not just standing on the rim and going like, wow, man, wow, this is a big hole in the earth here. Wow, that's cool. It's really pretty. It looks like a painting. Doesn't look real. And for those who've been to the Grand Canyon, you understand that it doesn't look real. It just doesn't. You get there and your brain cannot wrap around what it's looking at. Your brain doesn't get it. And so when you start to go into the canyon, you start to see the rock formations, you start to see the canyon, and your mind is blown. Just it's just you can't describe it. We get to the bottom of the canyon, and boom, there we are. We are actually there. That's Becky and I. And say hi, Becky. And we are literally standing at the Colorado River. We are at the base we're at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. And I can't tell you how absolutely thrilled I am in this moment, in this picture, and just blown away that I get to be at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. That in just moments, I am going to be on a raft, and we're going to be rafting down the Grand Canyon. I just absolutely blown away by it, and I'm in awe at this point. I'm kind of speechless. Don't really know which way is up. Don't really know what to expect, because this is a type of rafting I haven't done before. This is motorized. This is a raft with an outboard motor. It's basically a pontoon with an outboard motor, and you're not rowing at all. So to me, I was like, this is a completely new experience. I had zero expectations because, one, I haven't been surrounded by this type of beauty in my life, and I haven't been in this type of an adventure in my life. And now it's a new kind of rafting. Intern Beans, coffee. Where's my coffee? Intern Beans. Oh, thank you, Intern Beans. Intern Beans brought my coffee. Thank you, Intern Beans. Say hi to everyone, Intern Beans. See, she's a real human being. Hi. That's Intern Beans right there. She's a real human. Mm-hmm. She does exist. All right. And thank you for the coffee, dear. But I'm blown away. Zero expectations. So again, new type of rafting, motorized, not rowing, and it was completely different, y'all. completely different. Let me tell you what quickly. I want to get to the differences here. And when you're rafting and rowing, when you're rafting, the type of raft is rounded at the front, so there's not a lot of just like forward water pushing to your face like there is with a pontoon. Completely different. You're not exerting yourself. I think when you're rowing and you're rafting, I think there's this adrenaline that just it makes you enjoy. You're in the rapid. You're enjoying it in a different way, and you're concentrating. You're having a great time. You're hollering, you're hooting, you're hollering, and you're just row, and you're having a great time. This you're at the will of the boat captain and the rapids, and you just hold on. It is a whole different experience, a really cool experience, but an entirely different experience. So I'll show you just so you can see this. Let me see here. You can see this here. Tearing that down. Holy cow! But you can see that. So the pontoon. It's wide open in the front, and so when you hit the rapids, that water comes blasting straight at you. And just go ahead. I mean, if you just want to enjoy it, that's rafting the bottom of the Grand Canyon. So I don't really know anything that is just that stunningly amazing. And yes, the water is brown. That's just sediment, and it's not gross or anything like that. It's water that's running through the Grand Canyon. So that's just the color that it is, and it is what it is. But the water actually hits you. Let me show you this. This is one of my favorite things. I was so excited to show you guys this because this is the kids rafting. Watch this. I'm gonna have to mute this because intern Beans or potty mouth. All right, no, I'm not gonna mute it, but here we go. All right, here we go. I see. Oh, hold on. Yes, look at that. Yep. So you're just, like I said, you're just at the mercy here. At the mercy, and this, you just kind of come up on the next one and just get absolutely soaked. But you come around here, you see, he maneuvers the boat really well, and then he just gets you right into a wave and turning it from a class 3 into a class 5. Look at that, yes. And then just kind of keeps it down. But just is, the water's cold. And down there it is probably, 125, 120 degrees. They're saying it was 130. I've never been around 130 before, but you're wet the whole time in cold water, so you're not really noticing. But when you dry off, and kind of the second half of the trip was flat water. When you dry off, it's wow. It's absolutely it's hot. Let's just put it that way. So just kind of go through, just enjoy it, just get in, have a good time. You think you're out of it, and then you're not. Yeah. No, actually, Grizz, we weren't belted in at all. You just have because that's wildly dangerous. And you know me, I'm safety third. But we have to hold on to these the bar. Basically, there's handles. There's you know what handles. And you just hold on and hold yourself down. You lean forward and you just hope for the best. I mean, I was watching the kids' butts get, a good 2 feet off of the actual boat and just get launched. And it was too much fun to watch that because, I'd been rafting before. Becky had done this trip probably 4 or 5 times when she was with her previous job with the state in water quality. So I'm probably going to get in trouble for their ADEQ, Department of Environmental Quality. I think, pretty sure I'm going to get. Yes, the Poopa bar is exactly what it was. But she's done this trip a bunch of times, or a handful of times. And so it was cool just watching the kids do it. And I can't impress upon you enough. Adventures like that, to me, is just, if you get to watch the kids and see their reactions, I'm good. I remember the first time I hunted with intern Sarah, that I just hunted behind her. I didn't even have a firearm. She was dove hunting, and just being behind her, sitting on the bucket behind her, watching her. I thought at that moment, I'll never forget this. I thought at that moment, I could never hunt again or fish again if I just get to watch my kids do it. It's fulfilling. I mean, it just fills your cup. It is absolutely fantastic, and just a wild, just a change in mindset. And so watching these kids just get absolutely destroyed by these big waves coming up, it was too much fun. There was one time where we were sitting on the grown-ups, me and Becky were sitting on the back. There was a bench that faced straight forward. Most of the people were sitting on the side pontoons, and there was we could sit on the back and look forward. And there was we hit this wave, and this giant wall of water just came up, and it looked like it stopped and just dropped straight down on the kids. And I couldn't have been happier, especially after finding out what they were doing in the pictures. Yeah. Now I'm super happy. I wish it was a bigger wall. I wish it was colder water. Yeah. Get them back for that. Tell them to get them back for that. One of the cool things we got to do on this trip is again rafting down the Grand Canyon. There's really how do you get cooler than that? Well, here's how you get cooler than that. We all jump off the boats and we get onto a beach, and they just it was really very little instruction. They're like, just go that way. What are we going to do? There's ropes and ladders. I'm like, okay, ropes and ladders, and then there's a waterfall. I'm like, well, okay, let's go. And it was really, really cool how they had this set up at Travertine Falls, where we get to just kind of, the ropes are more for stabilize yourself, because these rocks are slippery. And I'm going to show you this, so you know what I'm saying here. You know that I'm not your a guy that I aced this. I didn't, but the kids did. See, kids just didn't. Kids did, man. Intervenes, going up the ropes. There's Ellie going up the ropes, nice and easy. Everybody's just easy breezy. Here comes intern Nuge. No, that's Ivy, and then intern Nuge is right behind her. And then so you kind of get the vibe there. Those rocks, y'all, listen to me. Those rocks, you got those rocks are slicker than snot. It is so. I'm gonna admit, I think I fell 3 times. I did. I slipped. Not fell. I slipped 3 times. And so, I ended up on my stomach or my butt. So I guess I did fall. But it was those things are so slippery, and they've got like wood drilled into the like wood planks drilled in to help you on the really, really slippery parts. But as you see intern Beans up there, you see this guy. This is one of the guides. He had red hair. And I gotta tell you, there was this couple from Australia that was there, and they referred to him as the ginger bloke. Yeah. He was the ginger bloke. Oh, and by the way, I got a little bit of time to talk to the cats from in just minutes to talk to the people from Australia, and they said they're here in the States and they have had the 2 greatest experiences of their lives. You ready for this? One was rafting the Grand Canyon, and the other was shooting a firearm. I thought I just gonna lay a big hug on them. I was like, you guys are all kinds of awesome. I couldn't imagine going through living a life where we can't do what we can do here. And so anyway, he was the ginger bloke and one of the cool guides there. But so we get to go up there. We get to go up to Travertine Falls, and I haven't seen things like this. I haven't seen. I guess it is. I've seen waterfalls before. I've seen cool caves before. I've been in them. It's been nice. It's been really cool. But it was the experience of being in the Grand Canyon, the experience of rafting the Grand Canyon, and then having this as just some seasoning on the day that we get to go do this. And I'll show you once we get up there after the hike. Here is I gotta tell you, here's a really good looking set of people right there. Yeah. So that's what you kind of wade through the water, and you get more slippery rocks, of course. Slippery. One cool thing, no one told anyone not to try to climb up the things, and no one did. So usually there's always somebody in the crew that does something absolutely stupid like that. But there's the crew, there's the tribe, and that's the falls. So really, really cool. I'll say that, I know your Grizz will probably tell me to zoom in and find out which kids, doing their little trick there. But they gave us that. This is literally what they said to us, that we will give you that. We gave you the falls, is what they said. We gave you the falls. Gee, thanks, kids. We gave you the falls. Yeah. So they weren't doing their little joke when we were at the falls. I think they just forgot. I really do. I think they just, I think they, hey, wait, who's going to do it? We didn't talk about this. So we get that back down on the boats, and start go through with 8 rapids total. And the way they categorize them isn't 1 through 5, it's 1 through 6. I think it is. And so 6 is now the highest. So this guy, he said, I took you through some 5s, but I made them a 6 in how he was driving. That was our driver, our boat captain, guide, I guess. Kyle. Kyle was his name. And if you put a gun to my head and asked me what his name was, looking at him, that might have been guess number 342. Yeah, didn't see him as a Kyle. Doesn't look like Kyle at all. But Kyle said a lot of yeah, cool. That was basically his speech. Yeah, cool. He would tell us some stories, and yeah, right, classic Kyle. He would tell us a few stories, and it was just in only the way a guy like Kyle could tell them. Kyle was smoking a lot. But Kyle was good at what he did. There was actually one boat in our group. There's 4 boats. There's one boat in our group that hit a rock and was disabled, and Kyle just took over. I thought Kyle was the boss at this point, but found out this is only his second year doing this. But Kyle was just barking orders, man. Kyle just took over Rover, and I was like, wow. I was not excited about our guide. I was not as we started out the tour, but when that happened, I was like, okay, our guy's the guy. Kyle's the man. So Kyle got everybody all situated, and unfortunately, we had to take 2 people onto our boat. We had a private boat, and it was, we had a private boat. I didn't want it to sound like that. These boats hold 8. There was 6 of us, and they just didn't have 2 other people for our boat. So we had our own boat. So it was pretty cool until that happened, and we took on 2 new people that had all the personalities of an old sandwich. Yeah, this is just nothing. What's up, Brendan? Like the Kyle of Kyles. That's right. And I mean, but then he just totally opened up. Like the second half of the day when we're just kind of cruising. There's no rapids. We're done with the 8 and 8 rapids, and now it's just flat water the whole way, and we're just in awe, just chin on the floor, watching the entire thing go down. And just what go down. We're going down the Grand Canyon and just seeing these formations, hearing stories about explorers and really, really cool things. But man, I'll tell you something, a trip of a lifetime for sure. Then again, because Kyle's telling us stories about his kids. I forget his kids' names. They were interesting. Yeah. Arrow something and Rainy Day or something. Yeah, Kyle. Classic Kyle. But Kyle just totally opened up, and he's like, hey guys, if you just want to get out, and if you just want to jump out and just go float, I'll meet you guys at that little rock out cove, whatever thing out there. Just go. Becky didn't even think. She just start taking off life vest. You guys got to keep your life vest on. She's like, and she just, I think she jumped over me. So I was like, I wasn't really like, oh yeah, let's go. But then I was like, I get to go swim in the Grand Canyon. I get to go swimming in the Grand Canyon right now. All hands on deck, kids, get in here. I don't want to hear anything. Don't. You just get in. And all the kids jumped in, and we just float, and we're just kind of cruising along. And wow, just absolute wow. And we got to the point where we got to see the what do you call it? The walk, the skywalk or whatever it is, where they're the Luke Skywalker, where they charge you like $75 to walk out on this thing that has a glass bottom, and you get to look straight down in the Grand Canyon. Pretty cool. But we were looking up at them. And I said, you know what? This is the right way to spend money. I trust me, if you have the ability and you can hold on tight for about 8 minutes of a 6-hour ride, if you can hold on tight through some rapids and have a great time and deal with being wet and get splashed and have water dumped on you, that's the way to spend your money going to the Grand Canyon. Period. Save up. It's not cheap. I'm telling you, it's not cheap. Save, pay it off, do whatever. But before they realize that we're jacking some things up here with the Grand Canyon and the water gets too low or whatever it is, and they shut it down, we'll look back and say, you know what, we're glad we did it now. So if you can, highly recommend it. I cannot tell you. I think it's called the Wallapai River Runners. Please check them out. The Wallapai tribe is doing, or nation. I don't want to, I'll get in trouble for saying things like that. I'll say the Wallapai Nation is doing a great job with marketing and branding. And so, check them out on the gram and on social media, and then their website, and really check it out, because it is quite literally worth it. It's worth every day. You look at it and you're like, whoa, okay, there's how many of us times. And then you're like, I don't, that's a lot of dough. Cool. Get it? We did too. Becky and I both had this whole sticker shock. I'm like, whoa, that is a lot of dough. We're going though. And we did it. And I'm glad that we did it. The kids had one hell of a time, and the kids will always remember that. You can take your kids to a hotel. You can take your kids to a resort. You can take your kids in whatever, any kind of thing. This is what they will remember. Literally what they'll remember. So now we're kind of a rafting crew. I'm excited to we're planning on doing the salt next year or later this year. I don't really know how that works. I think early next year. Yeah, something like that. I don't when it's open. Okay. And no, I'm not talking about Salt River tubing. I'm talking about upper salt, and then doing the two night overnight camping kind of thing. Yes. So, yep. These are the adventures the kids are going to love. These are the adventures the kids are going to remember. This is this is what they will hold on to. This is hopefully what they'll be able to do with their kids, and hopefully we can be a part of that too. But or just help. I mean, I would say this: if I had the means as a grandfather, I would tell my kids, I'm funding this. If you need help, I got this. You need to go do this. You need to take the kids to do this. So, yeah, it is that fun and is that exciting, and it was that big of an adventure, and I'll never forget it. I know the kids. I think we'll be talking about this for a long time, because again, seeing the Grand Canyon. I think hold on, Grizz said my first time I looked from the edge, and my second time was in a helicopter. Okay, so yeah, that's another thing. These helicopters are absolutely amazing. These helicopters are kind of showing off, kind of like I was thinking of the intro. I was thinking intro to Magnum PI. Yeah, everybody, come on. We all watch Magnum PI. Don't kid yourself. But I mean, just where they're kind of doing this whole thing wrong like that. Oh, it's so fun to watch them come in and out of there. And they landed them right by the composting bathrooms. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the composting bathrooms. That my girlfriend's time with Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, she actually helped build those and fund those composting bathrooms. That it's kind of a green bathroom in the Grand Canyon. If you're going to put a bathroom in the Grand Canyon, you don't put a porta johns in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. You just don't. So you have to build something, had to figure it out. Her crew figured out a way. And so we went by and we're like, oh, that's really cool. And then the guy goes, yeah, no one uses those. Oh, well, all right. Well, it was an effort. But that was 15 years ago. I'm sure they got some use during those 15 years. Yes. Okay. Yes. Brennan, his interns, he can't wait for his interns to be big enough to do stuff like this. And trust me, buddy. I mean, just keep putting a little bit aside, man. I'm telling you, every year, just put a little bit aside and you'll be able to do cool, crazy stuff like this. And I hope that everything is around when they get to do it. And then you get, what happens is you get pictures like this. Yeah. I mean, that's on the wall for sure. That's a hanger. That's a wall hanger. That's a framer right there. We're sticking with that one. Definitely sticking with that one. So an amazing adventure. Thank you so much for allowing me to share with you, because that's what I do. I dig you guys. You guys are fam. I thank you for commenting. Thank you for hanging out and playing along today. And yeah, we're gonna do this again tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna talk a little bit about the Olympics. The Olympics are going on. There are actually some cool outdoor events that we should look at. We should introduce our little interns to, as Brennan calls them, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow right here on the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, and world that we live in. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at 11.